Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because walking in Newport, thought I'd go out to the island today. Remember last time I was filming from the other side, and there's a lot to cover. And do we have a debt ceiling deal? No, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. We're mad. We're happy. No, we're not. But regardless, there's a ton of stuff to cover right now. And man, oh man, this is crazy times right now. It really is. Please don't forget to the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And today we'll talk about foreclosure.com a little bit. But please, guys, the retail sector is getting destroyed right before our eyes. And people don't want to admit this. People don't want to, acknowledge the fact that the underbelly of our economy is basically retail. And the underbelly, that expression means the most vulnerable part, being exposed. And, let's face it, there is a great analysis company called UBS that analyzes every type of business, every type of industry. And right now they're really high on retail. And they are saying that retail is an absolute unmitigated disaster, and that we have seen, in the last 3 years, blamed on COVID originally, that the retail was going to take a huge hit, and you had 20% of all stores close. And in the 3 quarters that they have, the numbers that they have are for the first 3 quarters of 2022, and they're talking about how 40,000 stores closed. Well, here's the thing that's fascinating with this, is that we have an additional 50,000 stores that could close in the next, year. And when you hear these numbers and you hear the analysis of this, it makes a lot of sense. People are not shopping. People do not have the money to go out and shop right now. People are not, people are not spending the money on extras right now. The coffee houses are hurting. The small mom and pop stores are hurting. Now, that money, people will spend money going out to buy things. They're going to buy clothes. They're going to buy, jewelry, makeup, everything that they need, sporting goods, everything. But you're going to see more and more stores close. UBS did an analysis that the average big store sales is $5.7 million a year, which I thought, that's kind of a big number, but let's go with that. Well, with the 50,000 stores closing, it's $250 billion, of sales that are up for grab right now, that are gone right now. Now, you can sit there and say that the sales are up for grab and they're non-existent, or that people have to spend their money someplace. There is value in going out and touching stuff. It's funny, dog food for the dog. There's certain things that I want to see, and I can't do it online the way that I can do it walking into a pet food store with the men and women that know everything about this stuff and then can answer questions. And this is what the dog likes, this is what the dog hates, this is what I hate, and being able to grab a bag and then say, okay, I'll get the 10-pound bag over the 50-pound bag. There's value in that. I don't want to just buy that stuff online and, oh, she hates it. You know what I mean? There's value in going there and doing that. And that's the last thing I purchased at a store. So it's on, top of my mind. Everything is off right now, and nobody wants to admit this. But when you sit down and you think about $250 billion in lost sales, that's amazing. These stores are upside down, with what Target's done to itself, with what Kohl's is doing to itself now. These self-inflicted wounds that they're doing to themselves are horrible, and they're going to have a toll, and people will spend their money someplace. But eventually, there's going to be a lot of store closures, a lot of grocery stores going out of business. And I was at an Albertsons the other day. I don't know if you guys have that around the country or not, but it's a big store chain here. And this one store did a remodel, and I was like, wow, they really spent a ton of money on this. And somehow they added 2 more aisles to the store. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting that you could get 2 more aisles. And now they have a walk-in freezer for drinks, for wines, for beer and things like that. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy. And I'm talking to the guy, I'm like, people like this? Oh yeah, they love it. They walk in, you can buy kegs, you can buy all these different beers. They have all the craft beers and everything, but they're all cold. But you can walk in there and it is, it's a freezer. It's cold. It's freezing. It's, right above zero or right above, 34 degrees or whatever it is you have beer at. And, but just kind of a cool feature that you can walk in and do that. There's value in that. Would I drive out of the way to go to a store like that? Of course I would. Produce section's bigger. The meat department's bigger. They added all these different cheeses and all this different stuff and sandwiches and, meats and things like that. But the other retail, man, oh man, is it taking a hit right now, guys? It really is. Now think about this one. It is anticipated that the franchise model is broken for most of these stores. And for those of you that don't get it, let's say you buy a sandwich shop of Sandwich Shop X, you have to pay them a percentage of your sales. And most of them that are smart make it so that you have to buy the food product from them. You have to buy the cups from them. They set up a separate, company. If you guys ever want to see a good movie about this, the movie called The Founder, which stars Michael Keaton, about the Ray Kroc story, about how he took over the McDonald's brand from underneath these two guys, is amazing. But it talks about the value of everything there, including the land that you're sitting on. And that's where this guy made, his billions of dollars, was owning the real estate that the McDonald's were sitting on top of them. And then the franchise fees and everything else that's included with that. It is anticipated right now that 30% of all McDonald's owners are insolvent right now. Isn't that crazy? Who would think that? I'm talking, 40 years ago, my brother and my sister wanted to be a McDonald's owner. And at the time, it was, just over $1 million to get involved. Do we do this? Do we not do it? My brother was single at the time, and the nearest location, you have to live within 30 minutes of your location because you're actively involved with the location. This was back in the 80s. It was in Arizona. Do I want to relocate to Arizona? Do I want to do it? And if he would have done it, it would have been life-changing. It was, he's done well for himself, but it would have been really, really good for them if they would have done it. But again, relocating. Now, think about this. 30% of those people are not making money. They're broke. They're upside down. And McDonald's is no longer the deal. It's also no longer good food. Remember when it was like, oh, let's just get some McDonald's for the kids. It's great. We'll go get it. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. And, you've got all these different Subway locations. Again, self-inflicted. The problem with the tuna debacle, it's not tuna. They get the lawsuit. The thing about that was, do you think the lawsuit is, they're trying to dismiss the lawsuit, and the woman that filed it is pregnant and wants to dismiss that lawsuit. She said that tuna was their tuna at Subway was a concoction of different meats and didn't have any tuna DNA. Well, if if somebody filed a lawsuit and said that, you would go out and you would, deal with that. I would think in a quick, timely manner that would just shut that down. They didn't really do it. It's 100% tuna. It's albacore, and they didn't really hit it. 15, 20 years ago, Taco Bell had a problem where some guy said, hey, their meat's a bunch of byproducts, and it's like 80% byproducts and not meat. Immediately, Taco Bell came out and shut them down. Immediately. Now, Taco Bell is owned by the Pepsi-Cola company, and they've got more lawyers than you will ever know in your lifetime. They also own KFC and all that stuff too. There's a bunch of other ones. Yum Brands, or again, if I get them wrong, guys, I apologize. But they own all these different fast food places, rightfully so, and that's why they sell Pepsi there at those places too. So, owning a McDonald's used to be the golden goose. Not anymore, guys. It's just upside down. But the retail is done. Retail is upside down. Retail is an absolute mess right now. Now, with my last video talking about how we were seeing insurance companies, State Farm, not write more policies, my friend that's in the insurance business just reached out to me and said, Dan, Farmers is next. Farmers is not going to write any more policies. What do we do, guys? What do we do if we don't have, auto insurance? and, you know, respectable carriers. This is going to drive the price to the moon right now. And here's the other thing. I was reaching out to realtors right now, saying, hey, what do you do with this? And, oh, we've never encountered this, Dan. Well, okay, I don't want to hear that. Okay, if you guys want to somebody to follow that's good is Drayton Nay, Draytonnay. He is a real estate wholesaler, great guy, had him on the show. But his thing is you don't need a real estate agent. Do it on your own. But when these people don't have it, if you have somebody that's been doing this for 20, 30 years and they've done thousands of transactions, guess what, guys? They're going to deal with an insurance company shutting them down, without a doubt. That's going to be something that, oh, we dealt with this in, 89 or whatever. You know, you want somebody with that experience. Long story short, you don't know if you can get a policy for this. But what they've all recommended is look at the home. Has the home ever had a claim? Because these insurance companies keep records. Yeah, this house has had water damage 6 times. This house has had, you know, termite issues over and over again. That's something of value. But Farmers is the next one not to write a policy, guys. Isn't that crazy? Very low tide today with the canal. But man, we've had overcast weather here for like 8-9 days right now, well over a week. It's just crazy. And Memorial Day is always hot and everybody's jumping. Not this year, man. And of course, it's never like this when I go to a baseball game. It's always blazing hot during the day. But we got this. So, you know, share your thoughts on this stuff so far. Those of you that own retail establishments, what are you doing right now? You can have your family members work there. You know, it's really interesting. My son is a college student and found out, you know, hey, if I work at a higher end restaurant, I make more money over working at the coffee house, which is smart. And so he's out trying to maximize his time because I've only got so many hours outside of school that I can work, and this is the easiest thing to do. And, you know, relatively, you know, easy. It beats construction because, you know, he can work at night, he can work on the weekends, you know, pounding nails, which is what I recommended he do, but he just doesn't work into the schedule. So he's starting to see more and more of these establishments that are having trouble right now that, listen, hey, we're gonna do this very lean, and we're only going to have this amount of people on. And can you be on call for us? And with a 6-hour notice? Yeah, sure, why not? You know, new to town, I'll do that for you. So they're doing that and relying on him, but you're seeing more and more problems with these places. People just are not spending the money, guys, right now. It's really, really affected everything. And this is bad. Not having the insurance right now is going to be catastrophic, people. It really, really is. But ask questions. Ask questions. Get the answers. No claims, you know, don't worry about it. This is what it's going to be. Well, good. You know, what starts happening when people won't close escrow without the contingency of homeowners insurance? Think about that. Well, it just doesn't work that way. Then you close escrow, you're going to get the policy. No, not going to do it without the policy, guys. That's going to happen. You're going to see deals get kicked out. You're going to see deals fall through right now. Interest rates are going to go up right now. This debt ceiling debacle that is going to get resolved, is not going to get resolved, is just a mess right now. And but one thing that came out today was the Freedom Caucus did a press conference talking about how Janet Yellen is lying, that the country has all this money. They put all these numbers up and said that we can finance America for another month and there's nothing to worry about. They just want to slam a deal together. Well, you decide on that, if whatever you think. But I just think that you cannot run a place with just expanding the credit line. This just doesn't work because eventually it crashes. And if you want to destroy the financial system, that's a great way to do it. So let me know what you guys think about this so far. Let's talk about our sponsor, foreclosure.com. You know, in these difficult real estate times, one thing that keeps getting asked of me is more information on foreclosures. The best thing that you can do, guys, is use the link below and get a free 7-day trial to foreclosure.com. You can look up your own neighborhood, you can look up short sales, you can look up estate sales, things that are in pre-foreclosure. They've got them all around the country. The list is amazing. Get a free 7-day trial. Use the link below for foreclosure.com. It's amazing. So many of you have tried it before. It's a great company, but check it out today and use the free link below. Are you feeling the heat right now? Thinking that maybe your industry is upside down and people aren't spending money? Well, look at real estate. Look at realtors. During the health crisis, the number of real estate agents went up by millions, okay? It really did. It just shot up. And now the number of realtors are dropping. Tens of thousands a month are quitting. I can't do this anymore. Not everybody can make money doing this. And there are a select few that make the most amount of money. It's like any other industry. You know, it's not every baseball player's, making 400 million like Mike Trout or what they're going to pay Shohei. They're not out there. There's a lot of $700,000 players out there, which is still a great living. I'm not saying that that's bad, but the number of real estate agents are dropping. And, 1.5 million, is where it's at right now, and it was at a peak of 1.6 million. So you're losing 100,000 people in a profession right now. Why is that? Think about this. People think, well, it's free to become a real estate agent. It's not. If you want to work for somebody else, it's not free. You have to, hang up a shingle. There's a percentage. There's fees. There's, co-ops and advertising, things like that you share with, within your agency usually. And they want you to perform or you're done. And it can actually cost you money to have that job. So, the most successful real estate agents that I've ever met have always been people that were mentored by somebody. And the somebody that they were mentored by have been incredibly successful. People that were just absolute players. And hey, I'll come work for you for free. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that. But, guy in San Diego, Scott Walters, I love Scott, but that's how Scott got in the business, is went and mentored with somebody that just knew the industry. And now Scott, he's got decades into it and he knows what he's doing. And the tractor's backing up right now. So we talked about franchises earlier. I found a great website I want to share with you guys that's free called Franchise Consulting. And here's the thing. We've all had people reach out to us, relatives. Hey, I'm going to own this beauty franchise. I'm going to own this restaurant franchise. If I buy this, I have nothing to do. I just write a check and thing will work itself. My last friend that bought a restaurant was like, oh, it's going to be passive income, Dan. I'm going to maybe go there 10 hours a week, and lost 100% of his money because, it didn't work out that way, to say the least. But if you want some good ideas on franchising, check out that source. It's a great source for news, and all these people are talking about how bad things are. That's where I found the McDonald's story. And the thing that we're entering right now that people don't want to look at is a global problem. This is not just in Canada. It's not just here in the States. It's not just the UK. It is absolutely everywhere is going to be battered by this thing right now. And there is no end in sight. There's no end in sight for inflation. So you can talk about, oh, it's tapering, it went up a little bit, it's no big deal. And I know that's what the experts are trying to tell you, but found a great article. What if we are actually in a recession? I'm like, duh, we are in a recession. What would you call this? Think about this. The average person going to the movies right now is not going to the movies like they used to. When you ask the average family, oh, we go, on average of 3 times a month, and it's like 1.4 times right now. It's absolutely off. And you can sit there and say the content is horrible, but on holiday weekends like Memorial Day, the fact that going to the movies was off in previous years, and people just are fed up with it. They just don't want the expense. They don't want $22 popcorn. It's nuts. And people are not spending the money out there. The rich people that are out there in this world, that are out and they're cutting back and determining what they can get rid of. Once again, look at what you want to buy. Buy what you want and save and plan. If you do this, there's going to be a tremendous amount of savings out there on everything of value. Every asset is about to go on sale. And the real estate market, man, oh man, is it going to take a hit with this right now? It really is. This insurance debacle, this is going to be bad. What happens if one of these big insurance companies go out of business? Okay. I had a business once. This is 25 years ago. And the insurance company went out of business for a commercial policy and had a claim on the insurance, and it was so ridiculous to get paid. It took 2 years to pay the claim, and it was absolutely a disaster. And had to go to the state, had to threaten everybody to sue everybody, had to hire my own lawyer to go out and, protect myself and make sure that I wasn't going to be in trouble. And it was just a mess, an absolute mess. So what's going to happen right now with this? And you can sit there and say, well, Dan, of course, they're going to be in business. There's an issue here. And you can talk about this wacky state of California and how there's fire damage and all this stuff. We haven't had any problems here, Hasn't been an earthquake. But I'm telling you, it's almost like they sense something's going down and they don't want to be part of it. So let me know what you think so far. By the way, that's an airplane over your $5 million house. Okay, is that nice? You have to look at everything right now with an open mind and be realistic. You could hope that everything's going to turn around and be positive. I do it every day. But what you can also do is work with what you have. Play with the cards you've been dealt with in business and make as much money as possible. Work with your existing clientele and sell them more because they're already fans of yours. That's one thing that's served me well in the past, and I highly recommend my clients do that. The Dallas Fed basically does a manufacturing survey every year, and this is contracted for the 13th straight month as far as the outlook for manufacturing here in the United States. The quote for the article is, there is nothing good on the horizon. In other words, there's like nothing in manufacturing for the United States that looks like a turnaround, like we haven't seen the bottom yet. Okay, well that's discouraging to say the least when it's like that. The next thing is Elon Musk is trumpeting the fact that people need to look at home prices, and he's concerned that commercial real estate is going to be clobbered and it's going to be completely upside down, and we haven't seen what truly is going to happen with residential real estate, which he sees as being something that's totally overpriced, the average family can't afford. And you have to understand something. This guy owns manufacturing facilities, and what he wants is he wants you to go work all day long, go home to your house that hopefully you own, and that you and your wife have the American dream, and that you have a nice car, preferably a Tesla, in your garage, and you have a home that you can plant a garden in the backyard and play catch with your son in the backyard. That's what he's hoping for. But he sees it as just completely upside down. And these low interest rates made it so that areas like Austin, Texas, have got all this real estate that was built, all these new tracks. That was one thing that was crazy. I was in Austin almost 2 years ago, and I was floored at the tracks that were being built because I kept thinking Texas, land, acreage, things like that. And yeah, it's out there, but there were a tremendous amount of track houses that had 12-foot backyards. I'm like, who would want to live there? When the idea of moving to Texas, like a friend of mine moved to Texas, oh, Dan, we bought 10 acres. It's cool. We're building a pond in back. Okay. He hates the bugs. I love the weather, in California. I hate the bugs here. He says the bugs are so big that you could saddle them. That's what I thought was great. And that there's things that are so big that they look like birds and they're bugs. Okay? So there's that. Now, here's the story with this Elon Musk thing that goes to a different place. And that is 1 in 4, 25% of all homeowners right now are considered house poor or upside down in their real estate, which means that they are tapped out. What they're paying on the house is what it's worth. Now, I'm going to have people write me and say, big deal, Dan, that's been since the dawn of time. People, owe what the house is worth. No. in a declining market with an asset that's going down in value, this is serious, guys. This is going to be, your friends and relatives that are going to get destroyed financially. They're going to be buying houses that are worth this today, and they're going to be worth this, but they're going to owe this on it still. That's the problem with it, and you can't get out of it. Okay? Well, we'll just sell it and pay $200,000 to get out of this house. No one has that money. Remember that. It's going to be bankruptcies, divorces, business closures. It's going to be a lot of bad things. But again, the codgers, the old guys that have been through bad times and understand that things can get difficult in your life, if you don't learn from that, you're a fool. That's what we want to introduce yourself to a fool, somebody that repeats this stuff over and over. That's what the definition is. Learn from these mistakes and take this warning seriously right now, because the richest man in the world, second richest man in the world, whatever, Bernhard Onhold, who is the richest man in the world, he wanted to build a hotel on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills and just got voted down by the city because they're like, we don't want this traffic here. We don't want people flying in from around the world. Rodeo Drive's, we got enough tourists here. So this guy wanted to build a hotel there, and they shot him down. Think about how beautiful that place would have been. And it would have been something to see, and I could have filmed at it too. But no, they're not building it. So these rich people do get turned down and do get shut down. Even the rich are sick of crowds. They don't want anybody there. Don't want me here in this neighborhood. You know what I mean? So share your thoughts, guys, on all this stuff so far. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And first things first, Tucker Carlson, he's been off of Fox News since April when they let him go. Think about this. Their nightly viewership is down 1 million people a night. Think they feel that? Think the advertisers want a deal and not pay the same amount? Okay. So it happens to everybody, guys. It is anticipated that almost 45% of young people have a side gig or side hustle, and the millennials do. And the point of this is that that's solid advice, guys. People want to work more. People don't want to go back to work. People are sick of working in the office. There's a great article below about how a guy had a 6-figure deal, and they said, you've got to come back to the office. He goes, you see what I do every day. You guys can trust me. I'm doing my job. No, we want you in the office so I can watch other people not work? No. So this guy quit a job for over $100,000 a year because he didn't want to work with other people. So again, people are fed up right now. People are fed up working around other people. And final story is, what's the best investment? What's the second best investment? Gallup poll did a survey on this. They say number 1 is always real estate. And number 2, they say, is gold. So gold is rising in people's favor right now. And like I talked about gold a bunch of times, guys, take a look at it. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. Plus, last chance to sign up for Christmas in May. Go to christmasinmay.com. The link is below. Thousands of you have signed up for that. We're going to start announcing what the prizes are and start giving that stuff out at the end of the week. And again, guys, if you want to get a hold of me, hello@iAllegedly.com. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.